Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Aquaman and the Flash Voidsong, Book 1. This is a 2022 miniseries from DC Comics written by Collin and Jackson Lanzing, art by Vasco, Georgiev, colors by Beredo, letters by Peteri, cover by Anacleto and Beredo. No editors listed, and that would probably be a wise move for the editor. This is about Barry Allen and Aquaman having to team up. They're both kind of in the middle of something when everything goes wrong. So Wally fights his rogues gallery in pretty contrived story that's really kind of lame. And then Aquaman, after fighting with Mura, goes and fights Black Manta and ends up in the trench. So he's down at the lowest place and the Flash is running through the Speed Force when something happens. And we're not real sure what, but when they reemerge, they quickly find each other and discover that everything seems to have stopped. And all the people are making this singing sound that it just is represented by a black speech bubble, and this even goes up to the satellite too, so the Justice League is also down for the count. So it's just these two, and they have to work together to try and figure out what's going on. Arthur seems a lot more willing to make command decisions, and Barry seems to stand around and be annoying. Overall, I would have to say the premise is really interesting, but it's not a serious book. They joke around way too much. Everything is silly, and that's really tiresome. If there was a couple of quips and jokes in there, fine, but it's not taking itself seriously, so why should I? There's no sense of peril, because every time there's a little bit of tension, there are about 5 jokes that have to come through. Also, I'm not a fan of the art. I kind of hate it. It's very manga looking, and I don't like it overall, as far as the characters go anyway. The buildings look really good, and this crystalline structure thing that they're dealing with looks really cool too, but the people just look ridiculous and over-exaggerated, so I'm not a big fan of that. The artist has real good sense of perspective though, so no issue there. I think they're talented, just not a style that I like. It is nice that it's a prestige format book, so it is square bound, but it's $7 and I don't think it's really worth that. The paper's a little better than usual, but it's more like classic newsprint, and yeah, the cover is a nice cardstock, but it really doesn't justify $7 for what you're getting. There's definitely way less of a serious tone to the book than there probably should be. Every chance they have to have some kind of adventurous sense of tension, it's just thrown away. So you don't have time to build up a sense of interest in what's going on because it comes off like it's unserious. Also, Arthur is not this big of a jerk most of the time. Him and Barry do not get along. Barry comes off as a very unserious person, a very goofy, and for a forensic scientist, that seems like a really bad personality trait to have. But the two, who have worked together for quite a while, don't seem to get along or like each other, and that doesn't seem to be what teammates would do after having worked together for so long, so I had a problem with that too. The cover's really good. I like the cover. It got me to buy it. I probably should have flipped through it before I purchased it. So I don't think it's worth anywhere near $7, but the core story concept is interesting. It's just too goofy and I don't like the art, so I'm gonna pass on this, and I'm not gonna recommend it because although there were some really good elements to it, it was just too goofy and the characters didn't really seem to be themselves, so I'm not that interested. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. Please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.